Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And unfortunately, we have to do an update to this morning's video about Disney. It is official. It is official. Disney World and Disneyland are closed until further notice.
Yeah, that's how they stated it, until further notice.
That is worse than what we thought it was going to be.
Right, because at least if you had a date, you had some time to expect. But until further notice sounds like it's going to be a lot longer than they want to talk about.
Yeah, I think they're not committing to any dates. Now, this is a problem for a number of reasons. Obviously, you know, vacation planning for some people, they're like, are they going to be open this year or not? The truth is, I don't even think they know. I don't think they know. The other issue, of course, is the employees. Now, they did say, Disney did come out and say, I think they only did because Universal did it.
Well, yeah, and
yeah,
I think you're right.
They're going to be paying their people through the 18th of April.
Right. After that, we do not know what happens.
We don't know what happens.
And that's only the hourly parks and resorts people. I don't know if that applies to the Disney Store people. Or,
I have no idea.
I unlikely.
I have no idea. Now, not everybody's so lucky in Orlando. SeaWorld. SeaWorld laid off more than 90% of its employees.
Now, we're talking about all 12 of the SeaWorlds and the main office, I believe. I think it's across the country.
It's across the country?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, because, you know, SeaWorld, to be honest, is not in very good shape right now. They weren't in very good shape before this. And like we said before, when something like this happens to the economy, it's always the weakened businesses that go first.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if SeaWorld is actually going to survive this.
I don't either.
So definitely, you know, our hearts go out to people who work at SeaWorld. I know we have people who work at SeaWorld who watch our videos and they've commented they don't know what's going on. And I can't imagine. This is catastrophic. You know, Florida and New York and California have been hit so hard by this.
Yeah, they're not saying it's going to close down. They're saying temporarily, but they also kind of worded it in a way till they see how the business is going to handle it. Now, I'm hoping in the 10% they kept that they included people who are taking care of the animals.
Well, that's why I'm assuming it's going to be probably administrative people and the caretakers for the animals. But, you know, the folks operating the rides and stuff like that, obviously you don't need them.
Right.
Same with Disney World. I mean, you'd think that they need to have people there.
Well, they do have
Animal
people.
Kingdom.
They do. They do have the veterinary teams and stuff on hand. So the animals are being taken care of. They actually had 2 babies born, both girls. One is a prehensile tail porcupine, and one was a, I forget top of my head, breed of zebra.
Oh, okay.
But they were both female.
Well, that's cool. Well, yeah, because they need people to take care of the animals. Animal Kingdom, they need people, obviously, at the seas.
They work in conjunction with different, I think, departments with the U.S. government and different agricultural or, you know, animal groups to I think that partially fund what they do. So they might be getting funding from those places outside of Disney as well. But I know that a lot of the staff are still on hand.
Yeah, well, they have to be, obviously, you know, for the sake of the animals and all that. So, here's the official statement released. They wait until, what, 4 o'clock?
It wasn't 4 o'clock. It was before 4. It was like 3:30, 3:40.
Here's what happened to the stocks. They were actually kind of going up today, and then here comes the announcement. Oh.
You know, it didn't go as bad as I thought it would.
No, wait till tomorrow.
It really didn't. And the thing is, it's like, but we've been saying this, guys. We've been saying it for weeks. Disney, they don't announce things because they're trying to do it in small increments so they don't kill their stock. And I honestly expected a much larger drop than it was.
Give it time.
I think it's because they got the bailout money or the debt market money.
Yeah, well, I think that's, you know, why they did it. Look, Disney, if nothing else, they're a very smart company in some ways. I mean, they're very good at PR spin. Let's put it that way.
I am sure they have some kind of spin they're giving investors, because I'm sure they're getting calls from investors, the big ones, and I'm sure they have some kind of spin they're giving them, which is why the stocks aren't plummeting. I guarantee it.
Like, yeah, we're going to be okay.
Well, no, because they had there was like 3 days between announcement from Universal and announcement from Disney, or at least from the announcement about the Orange County to the announcement from Disney. I am 100% sure those major stockholders were calling them up on the phone. Hey, Bobs, what's going on? And they waited to the last possible minute on Friday to give an announcement. I think it's because they were you know, reassuring, because the stock people, because it did not drop anywhere near as much as it should have under normal circumstances.
Yeah, that's a little weird. So maybe they know something that we don't know.
Which is what I think is going on. You're telling them something that we don't know.
Yeah, probably the bailout, you know, because they talked about travel getting a huge bailout, hotels getting a bailout. The thing that I find concerning though, is the fact that they're not committing to a date.
Yeah, no, I just think that they don't know, or it could be like you said with the Asian parks. They stayed shut a long time, and they're further ahead than we are on, supposedly, further ahead than we are in recovery.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about, because Hong Kong, I think, has been closed since, January? Hong Kong's been closed a long time.
It's a long time.
They're saying Hong Kong is going to stay closed until the end of June. We're talking almost 6 months.
A lot of people think that Disney World's going to stay closed until May or June.
I mean, at this point, we've got a 2-month stay-at-home order out in California, out in LA. We've got, I don't know what's going on in Florida, but they're turning the convention center into basically a makeshift hospital.
Orange County keeps going up and up and up on the cases in Florida.
And the thing about that is you have so many people from all over the world, and they had, TSA agents, like 5 TSA agents tested positive. We actually canceled a trip a week before they closed the parks down. Mm-hmm. We were going to go, and we had a really bad feeling about it, and we didn't go.
Well, I also had, an ear thing going on. I really did not want to fly when I felt like poo.
Yeah, nobody wants to fly when they feel like poo.
No. But I don't want to make anybody else sick.
No, and so we didn't go. So we missed the opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is kind of morbidly ironic that the theme song for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, and a week later the parks are closed.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, we don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen to Disney. I can tell you though, as this drags on, with the entertainment industry, and we saw this in comics, and I think we're gonna try to get together a roundtable, people, to talk about the comic book industry. The comic book industry basically folded after being shut down for a week or two. You know?
Disney, it looks like they're doing about the same. They had to go get $7.3 billion in debt, market money to stay. They've been closed a couple weeks. I mean, in the American parks, they were already losing money overseas.
Right. So, Disney's, this is bad. And, people have been speculating about Apple buying them. And you know what? For the longest time, I'm like, no, there's no way that's going to happen. But part of me now is starting to wonder, if they get desperate enough, would they do it? Because the reason that Universal can probably bounce back quicker is because they've got Comcast money, and Comcast, people need internet.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're using it now to watch their Netflix and everything else. It's a necessity.
So, people need cell phones and iPads and doodads and stuff, and Apple's flush with cash. Apple's actually got a lot of money. And they do have a pre-existing connection via Pixar and Steve Jobs.
And Iger.
And Iger, who was on their board. It's...
During the time they were both developing streaming services with similar names.
Maybe this was Plan B. Maybe that was Plan B.
Who knows? I do not think that Disney parks are going to close permanently.
No.
People were saying that. I think that they're going to take a hit. I think that there's going to be a lot of changes when they reopen, fewer cast members, fewer entertainment options. They're going to cut some of the projects they were doing, are going to make them, a lot, less beefy than they were.
Less beefy.
And for lack of a better term, I definitely think there'll be some changes. I think we'll see some price differentials and things like that. But I don't think that they're going to be closing Disney. I think they get bought out and still stay Disneyland, Walt Disney World. That could happen, but they're not closing the parks.
No, somebody speculated in the comments, and that's what kind of got me thinking about the Apple thing again. That maybe if they got desperate enough, they would do it. Who thought Warner would go to
or make a merger?
They could do a merger. Like
a partnership.
Oh, it could be the poison apple. It could be the poison apple from Snow White. That could be the new logo.
It would have to be an apple with mouse ears. It'd be like a mouse-eared apple.
A mouse-eared apple.
And they'll start growing them and living with the land.
Yeah, there we go. Mouse-eared apples.
Synergy.
The brand synergy. But they were talking about the cruise industry is going to be completely destroyed from this. I can't imagine too many people, especially when you're reading the headlines and they're like, hey,
there's a boat that was part of Holland America. One of their boats, I forget, it's the Zandam or something like that. Anyway, it was supposed to be back the 21st of March. It still isn't back. People were sick on board, and now they said there's 4 dead. And they still are trying to get back to Fort Lauderdale. They've had ships meet up with them to, bring supplies and fuel. And they were trying to come into Fort Lauderdale. I don't know what's happening with that, but they're trying to get docked. But this is what we're talking about when we were saying about people not going on cruises. people, oh my God, the Disney cruise people were having a conniption fit on the boards. They're like, you don't tell me what to do. I'm going to go. Less people that I have to compete with, I guess. More room for me.
Yeah.
Everything else. And people like me were saying, it's not, well, they kept saying too, oh, the Disney cruise ships, they're so clean. They're always so clean. They're just going to clean them more. And I was like, it's not about the cleanliness of the ships. What it's about is the fact that you might get out there and not get back when they close the ports.
Yep.
You might be stuck and not be able to get back home. The government made an announcement where they basically were saying, hey, look, if you guys go out on these cruise ships, we cannot guarantee your return. We cannot be flying you all back in. So the ship that in question that can't get to Fort Lauderdale, they were supposed to dock and people were supposed to be able to catch flights in Chile, and they didn't. And they weren't allowed off the ship, probably because people got sick. And now there's 4 people dead. I don't know if they're crew members or if they're guests, because there was actually more crew members sick than guests. But they're trying to find a place to come back to. And it's absolutely horrendous and terrible. And all I keep thinking back are those people, the entitled people on these boards, like, you can't tell me I couldn't go. I'd go anyway because I'm not afraid of this thing and there's more room for me. And they were so mean to people who asked questions.
It's like a bunch of freaking Vanessa Hudginsons, where she was like going on about, first world problems. She's like, oh my God, I don't get to go to Coachella. And that's what I'm seeing with a lot of these, Disney people are just like, oh my God, it's like, this is so inconvenient that, we can't take the kids on our, $20,000 vacation.
And they're, 10 times to the parks. Oh my God, how am I going to tell them?
Oh my God.
But it's like, meanwhile, my son brought this up. He goes, meanwhile, there's a family out there that had spent like 3 or 4 years trying to go to Disney one time.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to go and now it's closed. And you know what? They're probably never going to get to go because they're going to be taking that money and canceling and putting it back to probably pay their bills to survive. And I see a lot of people making these swarmy comments. Well, this will teach people that they need 3 to 6 months of savings. Yes, ideally people do need 3 to 6 months of savings, and I'm hoping that in the going forward people will think about that and they try harder to do so. But for the majority of people, they don't have the luxury of having the opportunity to have 3 to 6 months savings. God, we worked for the other place. We were paid, ghetto wages. We were supposed to be partners, but they give you a pay like while you work. It was ridiculously low. I mean, you could literally work at McDonald's and make more money.
Probably, yeah.
And
management, maybe, but yeah.
Well, no, because it was 2 of us doing the job,
that's right, yeah.
getting paid what they were for part-time, one person part-time at the rates they're paying. And then, on top of that, they were using my credit card to pay for, this stuff to be reimbursed and everything else. And we ended up we were in debt from something that we were supposed to be partners on that screwed us over. We couldn't put money back because we were living in hand to mouth and have to make trip after trip. Some of it our expense.
Yeah, and the thing about that is, we did that because we thought we had an ownership stake.
Yeah, because obviously, who would do that?
Who would do that?
Who would work for free if they didn't think? But my point is, people don't have the money, and some people are working like 2 or 3 jobs, and in cities and things, they still don't have enough money to survive. So people that are blessed enough, that are lucky enough to have jobs that allow them to have the luxury of having savings like that, that's great. But for some people, they don't have that luxury. And for some people, they might save for 3 years to take one trip. Yeah. And some of you are out there bragging about your 3rd trip this year. There's people that don't even get to go once, and they're desperately trying to get to go. So I just say, check your privilege.
Ooh.
I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
Because in this case, it's warranted.
Well, I think in that case, that actually is legit privilege. And that's, like these Hollywood people complaining about shit.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys are millionaires. What the hell are you complaining about?
Yeah, check your privilege. You don't know what it's like. You maybe once upon a time you did, but you've forgotten. And we know exactly what it's like for people. We've been there ourselves, almost lost our house.
Yeah.
Everything else.
Yeah. I got laid off during the last recession, and it was catastrophic. I mean, again, we thought, we were going to make that kind of money forever. And, then just, it was just like, bam.
But we still didn't have, they weren't still being so much paid that we could have had, we were doing okay with a little bit extra, but it wasn't like we had all kinds of money you could put back.
It wasn't like we're making twice as much money as we needed. And that's what they're basically, these financial people were like, oh yeah, well, first you go get a $200,000 a year job, and then you put $150,000 a year in the bank. It's
and
like,
most people who make that much money don't live on $50,000. They live on the $200,000.
And that is a problem.
And, we learned long time ago, live below your means.
Yep.
And that's why we live where we do, because it's expensive here, and you can live easily below your means. But that's not the reality for a lot of people. And I think that some of these comments that these people make on these boards or these blogs are just so, like I said before, tone deaf. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's I don't want to say narcissistic, but sometimes it borders on that. And it's just, just before you speak, think about it, because just because you can do that doesn't mean that that's the reality for most people, especially now.
Yeah, Disney, I mean, it used to be something that was kind of like they always talked about, a trip to Disney World or Disneyland being a rite of passage for American kids, and now it's become a status symbol for wine moms.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I was a kid, it wasn't so easy to go.
Yeah.
It was expensive, and I mean, we were blessed and we were lucky enough to go. And a lot of people didn't get to go. A lot more people went, like, since our kids have been, going, than what went when I was a kid. I mean, the crowds are bad, but nowhere near what they are now because people couldn't afford it.
Yeah, I grew up going to Disneyland, but we went because,
That's different. Disneyland's like a locals.
Yeah, well, that's it, because we were in California, and my stepdad's family lived in the OC, so we didn't have to pay for a hotel. We'd stay at their house, and then we would just drive to Disneyland and go. But, I mean, if you had to plan the trip and flights and all that crap,
that's what happened for a lot of people with Disney World. And it's just not as, doable for a lot of people. And then they had crazy, crazy deals back around, like, 2010. This was a lot easier for people to go for a while there. And then they started deciding they were going to go after the wealthy again. But my point is, it's easy to sit there and tell people they should do this, that, and the other when it's not you. And you're not in that situation. So if you're blessed enough to not be in that situation, be thankful that you're not, because there are a lot of people right now who are.
Yeah.
And, when you're sitting there making comments like, haha, if you don't go, if you cancel, there's more room for me. Or like some of these people, they're so catty to people who have to stay at value resorts and things. I've never seen such entitled bullshit behavior as I've seen on some of these blogs and these boards.
And that's really, it's been a pretty recent thing. It's been the last like 10 or so years, I would say. Mm-hmm. The Disney scene's changed. Again, it used to be like a family vacation destination. And then
the one-upmanship is through the roof.
Yeah, when Disney decided it wanted to chase luxury clientele, they brought the attitude with them, and then it became a status symbol. Oh, we went to Disney. We stayed at the Grand Floridian. We stupidly spent $20,000 on a week's vacation.
Yeah, but that's nothing for us. Anyway, that was my long, detour off the topic.
At the end of the day, Disney is a luxury item, and a lot of people aren't going to have the money for luxury items. They're not going to have the money for basic necessities. So yeah, companies like Disney are going to feel the pinch. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, cast members and employees at companies like Disney are also going to feel the pinch because they know they're only getting paid for so long, but at least they have that. A lot of other companies don't even have that.
A lot of other companies don't. I mean, if you're working at SeaWorld, you're gone. You're out the door.
They will not pay you after March 31st either.
And, the sad thing about the Disney situation is that there are so many cast members who work there that probably couldn't afford to actually go to Disney anyway.
Mm-hmm. They get free passes, but
yeah, they do. But you know what I'm saying? If they actually had to go fly to plan a trip, a $5,000 or $10,000 trip, they're probably not making the money to do that.
No, and you know what? And a lot of these cast members are what make the park special. Yeah, a lot of them are when you have these people list their special memories, favorite memories. It almost always involves a cast member. They're the reason that the park goes, and they're the reason that people keep coming back. And I mean, attractions and rides are great, but it's usually the cast members who make the difference. And those people are the ones who are going to be feeling the pinch because they don't know what's going to happen to them after the 18th. So, again, first world problems the whole way around when you're upset because you can't go to Disney. And I get it. I do get it. I mean, I understand that people really feel like they want to go and they need it right now and all that. But at the end of the day, there are so many bigger things going on than your trip to Disney World or Disneyland.
Yeah, get your head out of your ass.
And
suck a peach.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did that sound very cold?
It sounded very cold. But anyway, the whole video took a whole another detour. But it's basically about Disneyland, Disney World closing until further notice. No one knows what that means. It could mean 2 weeks. It could mean 2 months. We don't know.
The way things are going down there, I'm going to say it's going to be months.
I think so too.
I think it's going to be months.
I agree.
And they know it's going to be months, which is why they're not committing to a date, because what's going to happen with Universal is they're going to get up against the 19th, and then they're going to have to say, yeah, we're closed another month. And then, we're closed another month.
Yeah, pretty much. But look, guys, the cases are ramping up in both Anaheim and in Walt Disney World and Orlando area a lot. So, and they're spreading like crazy. I can't see it being opened again for quite a while. And when it does open, it's probably going to be like Disney Springs will open first, then maybe they'll do some of the restaurants and things, and then they'll start opening the parks. I still think Epcot might stay shuttered longer.
Yeah, I think that's very possible. Shanghai, even, they're opening Shanghai, but there are some of the rides that they have people in close quarters, they don't have open. So I could see them opening Magic Kingdom and being like, yeah, you're not going to the Haunted Mansion because you guys got to go in the stretching room and you're all crammed up against each other in the stretching room.
Well, they could bypass the stretching room.
Well, they could just walk you right to
you can't at Disneyland, but you can at Disney World. You can't bypass it. We personally bypassed it before, so
there is another way.
There is a way.
There is a way, but they could do that. They could be like, we're bringing groups of 10 in at a time.
Why didn't they do that so that if the stretching room part goes down, they can still continue the ride? You probably could get away with that because you only have a couple people in a car, but yeah. Anyway, let's just wrap this up.
We're going to wrap it up. So Disney closed indefinitely. No date given. That's not a good sign. We're going to watch the stock. We're going to see the domino effect. I am really believing that we might, given the other stuff going on, see the end of Marvel Comics before it's all said and done. Not Marvel Entertainment, but Marvel
there's a difference.
As a comics publisher. All right, guys, so we're going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, and we will talk later.
Bye.
Hey, guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.